Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley. With convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut, visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org.
Listen to me, Michael Buster McMahon, Mondays 8 to 10 a.m. to learn the stories behind your favorite songs. Or don't. I'm not the boss of you.
Community Radio
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 at 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield. I found the original version of the song.
I was going to say it sounded a little bit different.
Yeah.
So good morning. Welcome to Chamber Chatter. I'm Kate Phelan. I'm the Executive Director of the Greater Westfield Chamber of Commerce. And I was just saying before we went live, I guess, with sound, I need a bang cut. Everybody's going to have long hair. I know, right? It's like, I'm going to try to cut them myself maybe tonight. But good morning, Pete. How are you?
Doing okay.
Good.
Been busy.
Yep. I know. We're all hanging in there. So taking a little diversion from having a normal Chamber of Commerce member on, my guest was going to be Steve Rovithis from Rovithis Realty, and he decided, to reschedule, which is completely understandable. So instead, this morning, I have my daughter, Megan, Phelan on with us to talk about some things that she's been doing with her recovery. And one of the organizations that she is a co-founder of is Fun and Recovery. So good morning, Megan.
Good morning, Mom.
You want to talk into this? Is your speaker?
Yeah, talk right into that microphone.
Bring it up to your mouth. Yeah.
Good morning, Mom.
Good morning. So this is going to be a little bit of a change. We will get some information out about COVID as well. The Chamber's been a little bit busy over the last few weeks trying to get information out to our members. So first, Megan, why don't we, let's dive right into your what you've been doing with this organization. Do you want to tell our listeners and viewers how Fun and Recovery got started? How did that all come about?
Sure. So about a year ago, myself and a group of my friends that are also in recovery kind of got together, and there's so many different programs out there to help people in their different recovery paths. There's the 12-step programs, there's life coaches, recovery coaches, medicated assisted treatments, and
there's AA, NA,
yes,
right?
12-step programs.
Yep.
The moment that a person makes that decision, that choice to stop using and fight this disease, it's, all the games are over. It is completely hard work. It's nothing but work. You have to change every aspect of your life. And in that journey, once, you put all that work in, people in recovery are the biggest self-critics, and there's so much hard work that we have to do on a daily basis.
And do you feel isolated sometimes, like the isolation, like you're doing this alone?
Well, yeah, I mean, this disease kills you. It kills every aspect of your life. Your support system, you know, it takes over everything. You're not who you are. So with all the work that we put in our recovery journeys, it was very important to us to create a system where people can use to support each other in their journeys. Unlike other programs, Fund and Recovery doesn't have the typical rules and regulations that you have to follow, like such as 12-step programs. If you go into an AA program, you know, you have to say you're an alcoholic or an addict.
Right.
And there are rules and regulations. Fund and Recovery has no judgment whatsoever. You can be in recovery from overeating. It doesn't matter what it is. We support you. We're here for you. And more importantly, we want you to have fun.
Right, because there's not a lot of options out there for people dealing with whether it's substance abuse disorder or other addictive behaviors, right?
Correct.
Because they're supposed to, depending on what that disorder is, they should be avoiding certain aspects of what, you know, that particular environment's like. Let's say for we'll use alcoholics as an example, but so they really should be going to bars. So there's really not a lot of options out there for these folks to have some fun, right?
Exactly.
So you started this with some of your friends
Yes.
and people that you've met through counseling or meetings, right?
Different programs, yeah.
Different programs, and so you started. And you've already had some events. So last year, about a year ago.
Yeah, we started Fund and Recovery a year ago, and our main focus was to not only provide support for people in recovery, but, like I said, have fun.
So talk about the events you held last year.
Yep. So last year we started small. We have a closed page on Facebook where anybody can join. You have to be invited in. It is closed. It's private. It will always stay that way. Where we promoted our events. Last year we had a beach day. We had a tie-dye hike. We had tag sales, fundraisers. We did a lot of outdoor activities. We had a family fun game day at Stanley Park.
Talk about the tie-dyed one was pretty popular, right? So
Yeah.
So you organized this through your Facebook group.
Yep, we made a small event planning committee, and we organized a tie-dye hike again at Stanley Park. We provided the tie-dye, we provided the T-shirts, always snacks. And everybody would come, and they could bring their kids, their pets, their families, their friends, whoever they wanted to bring. And we hung out. We tie-dyed shirts and bandanas, and then we went for a hike and enjoyed the day.
Now, but didn't you have a contest with that? Wasn't it?
We did. We turned it into a contest afterwards because it takes a good day for your tie-dye material to be done. People that wanted to participate would post their tie-dye shirts on our closed page, and we voted on who had the most outgoing and fun shirt.
And that was quite successful.
It was.
And then I also know you did have just a cookout at Stanley Park, too. That was one of your very first events.
It was.
And you had and unfortunately, I remember it was kind of a not so nice day.
Yeah, we got a lot of rain that day.
I know.
But we made it work.
But you did. You made it work. And, that's one thing I have to comment about is I noticed that these folks that are struggling with substance abuse disorders or whatever, other addictions, they're very resilient. Like you guys did not give up on that day.
No.
You made it work, and it was nice to get together and have some just being outdoors with your family and friends. And so I've noticed that a lot about your circle of those types of folks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this disease can put you through the ringer. So people in recovery are the hardest working people that I know. And we give them a lot of credit. And we want to just really show our support towards those people and have them enjoy life. That's what it's about.
So you also are planning, before this horrible COVID-19 hit our world, you were actually planning in the planning stages for this year's events.
We were.
So which hopefully can still happen. So what is in the works for this year once we can start to gather again in public?
So we revamped our event planning committee for this year. We have been meeting on a regular basis through social media. We're going to do 2 or 3 major annual events moving forward. One of those events is going to be the Family Fun Game Day that we started last year. And we're going to bring it back old school. We're going to do the sack races and egg toss and basketball and food and music and a drum circle and just have a good annual fun time.
So that's in the planning stages, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And then the second annual event will be sort of a dedication and celebration to those that we have lost to this disease.
So speaking of that, you and I are both on the core committee,
Yep.
Run by Kathy Catuno. And so I know they're planning their annual vigil that
Yes.
it's going to be in August this year. So I wonder if maybe you should coordinate your fun and recovery. Maybe you should do some coordination with that same night. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
To have everybody down there that night on the
that
green
would be good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
in August.
Yep.
Yeah.
So those 2 are going to be our annual major events. But along the way, we're going to do a bunch of fundraisers and use kind of the organizations in town. Like Amelia Park has a public skate venue. The YMCA offered to do some type of rock climbing adventure. So we're really looking forward to using some of the businesses in town and doing small events along the way.
And we really appreciate their support if they can, because, you know, it's just these folks are struggling. There's not always the funding available for you to pay to use these facilities. So we're always appreciative if organizations can help out.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when we started this organization, it literally was 5 or 6 of us. People that are in recovery. It's men and women of all ages, and we didn't have $1 to start. So we put a lot of our personal money to get us going, and thankfully with people in the community and people in recovery that have donated their time and money, we had a successful first year. But in the future, yes, if anybody would like to donate, that would be great. We are looking forward to eventually having a drop-in center in Westfield.
Yes, because I know Cora's working on that as well.
Yes, Westfield needs resource centers. People that would like to begin their recovery journey, don't know where to go. Families who have people in their families that are struggling with addiction, they don't even know where to begin. So Fund and Recovery would like to work with CORE on organizing not only a drop-in center for resources, but also like a sober club,
Right.
like a hangout place where you can just come, stop in any time. If you need support, we can do a peer-run group, but also like come in and we can have sober concerts. You can hang out for the day. We can eat, we can play games, we can do activities.
Right. So all positive reinforcement.
Absolutely.
Opportunities. Pete, you're going to let me know when we need to break? Are we good? Huh? Okay, thank you. So we got a couple of minutes. So, so as a mom, having a family member, my daughter, so for us that are dealing with these issues, I went to Al-Anon for over a year, which I found very helpful. And there's Al-Anon meeting up at the Western Mass Hospital.
Yeah.
I believe they still meet on Friday nights at 7 p.m. And I also know there's an AA group up there. And then, Megan, do you know about the NA meetings or some?
I do.
Do you know when they are? Can you share with our listeners?
It depends what town you're in.
Like Westfield.
Westfield has one NA meeting right now on Thursday nights. And
where is
again,
that?
there are books that you can get, AA and NA books, which has meeting lists with time and places.
And those are up to date?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But isn't there one, is it the Church of the Atonement or is it the one on
It's the Church of Atonement, Thursday nights at 7:30.
That's the NA meeting?
That's the NA meeting.
Okay, that's really helpful. So We only have a few seconds to go, but when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about your journey.
Sure.
And then I'm going to give some chamber updates as well on the COVID situation, because this is affecting even your folks getting together.
Oh, absolutely. It's affecting everybody.
Everybody. So no one is excluded from this situation, and it's kind of disheartening, but we're in this together. We're going to get through this if we keep practicing and following the guidelines of social distancing and wearing face masks in public. I wore my first face mask on Sunday. Went to the grocery store, and it does give you that little bit of sense of not only supporting the guidelines, but it does give you that little bit better sense of protecting yourself and others too.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just yourself. So,
No, it's
all right. So it looks like we'll be taking a break, and we'll be right back. Chamber Chatter.
Child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Someday, yeah, we'll put it together and we'll get it undone. Someday when your head is much lighter. Of a beautiful sun. Someday when the world is much brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna be easier. Ooh, child, things will be brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna be easier. Ooh, child, things will be brighter. Someday, put it together and we'll get it undone. Someday, we'll walk in the rays of a beautiful sun. Someday,
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
I'm Mark Auerbach. Join me every Friday at 8 a.m. for Arts Beat, where you'll meet interesting actors, directors, designers, and musicians here in Western New England. Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
And good morning and welcome back to Chamber Chatter. I'm Kate Phelan, the Executive Director of the Greater Westfield Chamber of Commerce. My daughter Megan is here with me this morning to talk about some recovery issues and topics. Before we get back to that, Megan, I'm going to give a little bit of update on what the Chamber's been doing. Okay, So for those of you who are listening or watching, the Chamber's been very, very busy the last 2 days, at least this week, and prior to this. So the most recent update I want to give is that we are actually coordinating efforts with Jim Wiggs, the Westfield Emergency Management Agency, and we're going to be sending out an e-blast to our members asking for specific donations, which can be taken right up to the agency's facility up on Abermont Way. So we've been coordinating that. Of course, these donations will be prioritized, but we're looking for certain things for all the assisted living facilities and skilled nursing facilities. Obviously, it's pretty much understood that they all need gloves. There is a request for gowns for all the PPEs, but hand sanitizer, masks, and handmade masks. I saw in the news this morning, Pete, I don't know if you saw this, but Ocean State is giving out material.
Yes.
They're donating material, which I think is fabulous, because I just spoke to O'Connell Care at Home yesterday, one of our chamber members, and they have someone making masks, but they couldn't get material. So I'm going to call her later today, and in case she didn't see that message, but I think that's pretty. I find it fascinating how everyone wants to help, Pete, don't you? I think it's great.
Well, you have a workforce that's home for the most part,
Yes.
working from home, but then you also have students that are just getting back into the learning swing of things and things like that. But they all have, now instead of running to sports and second jobs or part-time jobs or whatever, all those activities, they all have that free time. So they're putting it to good use.
Yeah, and Melissa Stewart at O'Connell Care and Home, she was telling me they have someone that is willing to make masks for them, and so now we got a resource for their materials.
Yeah, sure.
And of course, the latest update is the new order from the governor with the number of people that can go in grocery stores, which I think it's great. I think this is. I'm glad we're doing it. I think it's important because in order for us to beat this situation and to flatten that curve, in a case you haven't heard or seen it,
I'm waiting for all the toilet paper to show up at garage sales when this is all over. Good
I know
Lord.
because I know
Paper goods.
I know, right?
Unbelievable how I guarantee some reporter somewhere
It's got.
You should probably stock up on toilet paper. And then it made the rounds. And then it made the social media rounds, and everybody panicked.
I'm not stockpiled. I'm lucky I can't even get any. I'm so okay for a while.
But it's amazing. It's amazing how people panic. Don't think.
Know.
It's like in a natural disaster, I get it.
Right.
In a natural disaster where supply lines are cut, I get it.
Yes.
This isn't a natural disaster. The supply lines are open. Unless you had a tornado blow through in the last week,
Right.
then the trucks are going to keep rolling.
Right.
I said it at the time, too. I'm like, you people are just sheep.
I know it's and it's really hard because if everybody would share, because I only need a roll or two here and there, but it's now you can't get any. It's really challenging.
The Dollar General hasn't had it in 3 weeks.
Wow.
No paper goods at all in 3 weeks.
Wow. That's
and they have a truck come every week.
every week.
That's sad.
Yeah, it's hard,
Yeah, it just shows you how unprepared people are for anything.
Right.
We've been saying
Yeah.
that since the tornado here. Jim and I've been a part of the emergency management team since over 10 years now, easily.
Are you still on the team?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I didn't know that. Okay.
I'm the communications officer.
Okay.
But
All right.
but it's like we've been telling people we had something the year after the tornado. I think it was in the fall, and nobody showed up. Big thing about how to be prepared, how to stockpile.
Right. Yep.
Literally nobody showed up but us and the speaker.
Oh, wow. That's
It's like how
interesting.
quickly we forget.
I know, right?
And then we panic and then we forget.
And now I'm hearing too
First
that
word of problems is
Yeah.
what the hashtag is.
hashtag is Now I'm hearing too you can't get thermometers either. I don't know if that's true or not, but
Oh, I have mine.
you do. Well, I have mine. I'm not sure how accurate it is, but at least it's something.
See, I have mine.
Oh,
I was supposed to check
is
you
that
guys.
digital?
Yeah, it's infrared.
Does it work good?
Oh yeah.
Oh, very cool. That's
there it
awesome.
is.
Where did you get that? Are they?
See, I have the flexible spending account thing.
Yeah.
So at the end of the year, if you have money left over,
Oh.
you don't get it back. So I bought a
That's
whole bunch of
right.
supply. I have a pretty good med kit in my house and a lot of supplies. So
Now that type of, can you get that at the drugstore?
yeah, I'm sure you can.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a bronze. So.
Someday I'll go digital. I haven't, I'll wait until there's after this pandemic because that the people that need them should have them first. I really don't need them.
97.8. I'm right on the money.
What's that?
97.8. I'm right on the money.
Oh, there you go. You're good. You are good to go. Right? Oh my Lord. So going back to the chamber for a little bit, we've been sending out. Of course, the information changes daily. We're trying to keep all of our chamber members informed. And,
I know I had all your graphics and I was going to run them again, but all that information is
Yeah,
probably
it's-
changing except
it's
for like the
changing.
contact numbers.
And but it is on our website. I'm going to update the website again this week because there's all the SBA information. They keep making it easier. They still want people to apply. There will be money coming for those disaster loans and the PPP, the payroll protection program. So
I know the big thing on the key for the SBA, a lot of them would become grants if
Yes, they're forgiven.
if you
Yep.
keep your employees on staff.
Correct. And there's certain criteria, but they're making it fairly easy. And I know there's a lot of anxiety and anticipation with the federal unemployment. Now I'm hearing.
Well, it's the employment's run by the states. I've heard, and Kenny mentioned this on his show during one of his rants because he applied.
Yeah.
That the state online systems have been overwhelmed because they weren't designed for this.
Well, they are overwhelmed, but from and yesterday
people are
I
frustrated.
had conversations regarding the federal unemployment relief package, and from my understanding, this is the latest that I know, is that once you're on state unemployment, apparently it's going to be automatic for that
Right.
federal, that $600,
Right.
which has not started yet from my understanding, but it should be coming, if not this week, next week. Now that's not that that's not the $1,200.
the one-time stimulus thing.
Right. This is the federal unemployment that they keep talking about, the $600 over and above your state unemployment.
Right. The disbursements going to the states to disperse it out through their already existing systems.
Yes. So, again, we're all in the dark about this as well. So hopefully, what we're
I still find it interesting that Linda McMahon runs the SBA, but do you know that?
no,
Small Business Administration?
no,
Yeah, Linda McMahon. Do you know who she is?
no. I know.
She was the CEO of World Wrestling Entertainment.
Oh, that's awesome! Wow, good for her.
Wow.
I just know the local folks.
She's married to
That's-
Vince McMahon, the guy. The guy that
I know.
runs it.
Bob Nelson,
But she's a successful businesswoman, so
Yeah. Bob Nelson of the Boston region of the SBA, he's on our phone calls with Lieutenant Governor Polito and Secretary Keneally. So the chamber, we have our standing 1 o'clock phone calls with Lieutenant Governor, Secretary.
is that once a week or?
Yes, every Friday at 1 p.m. Yep. So we're getting updates. They send us daily. I'm getting daily updates from MEMA, the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency. And on that, so I got one yesterday. I didn't get one yet today. It'll probably be coming later. But because Megan, you and I were talking about, it's hard for folks. There's a lot of anxiety, and people can't get to like you can have no meetings. There's no AA meetings and NA meetings. And so there is a hotline number, though. There's a helpline number, and I guess you can call any time, and it's 877-870-4673. You can call or text that helpline, 877-870-4673. And I know there's another one, that 211 I think that's just a state.
Yeah, that's run by the.
That's
I think it's run by the United Way. 211 is a number.
Right.
It's run by the United Way, and it's in
Yep.
different areas. So I think the United Way of Pioneer Valley runs a 211 in this area.
And I think that's for the emotional support to deal with these stressful times.
Well, it's also a clearinghouse for information too. They
Yes.
direct you to the
Yep.
right agency
correct. So
or group or whatever.
right. So Megan, we were talking about, it's hard to, you can't meet, you can't get your support services that you need. So what can they do?
Yeah, so this has been a huge fear for a lot of people. It's very isolating in a way. People can't get to meetings. The support system is totally
Disrupted.
during this time. So there is things, a lot of people are putting a lot of work into working around that. So there are still groups out there, not meeting in person, obviously, but there's Women in AA that popped up. There's Westfield Against Addiction, Chicopee Against Addiction,
Now,
Holyoke Against
are these
Addiction.
websites? What?
These are websites. You can get them right through Facebook. There's also the Zoom meetings. There's a lot of like the 12
So would they like Google? Like they could Google.
So they would sign into their Facebook accounts and then
Okay.
search Zoom meeting.
Well-
you can search Zoom AA meeting.
okay.
Zoom NA meeting. Type in Westfield Against Addiction, Women in AA.
Okay.
Fun and Recovery again is a closed site.
But how do they, if they want to get into that?
Yes.
How do they do that?
So anybody in recovery is welcome on our site. However, it is one of our important values to keep that site closed in public and confidential for
Good.
people
The
to
anonymity is important.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, people are more comfortable reaching out for help and talking about what needs to be talked about. So if you would like to join our Fun and Recovery Facebook page, what you would do is contact through email funandrecovery@outlook.com. And Fun and Recovery is spelled out.
All one word, right?
All one word, funandrecovery@outlook.com. So just send a brief email, even saying, hi, my name is so-and-so. You don't need to even give us your last name. I would like to join the site. We do check that email daily, and we will send you an invite.
Now, you post encouraging messages on the site, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. It's all positive. Like, for example, now with the isolation piece and people not being able to get to their daily meetings or support systems, we are looking into hosting meetings on Fun and Recovery to kind of replace the in-person meetings.
So
While that's in the works,
Yeah.
We are doing a topic of the day.
Oh, okay.
Per se. So it can be self-care, it can be a physical challenge. We challenge you to journal today, help your neighbor today. Also a lot of thinking and emotional and mental supports through those topics of the day. Like today, for example, my topic of the day was change. And then underneath that, I said, you can do a lot with this one. Look back on your recovery journey. Beginning with day one, what are some changes you have made? Does change come easy to you, or are you not a fan? What are some things or one thing you're working on changing today? I challenge you to make a small change in your day. Do something different, healthy. Expand your mind, think outside the box, and share and hear in comments.
Oh,
So
that's
that's
great.
just an example of one of the daily things we like to do to keep people talking on the site, working on themselves, and stay in communication with each other.
So, and I think I commend you for starting this because you created that Facebook page, correct?
I did with a few other people,
Yeah.
yes.
So, and I like the fact that you don't allow any negativity,
Absolutely not.
right? No gossip.
No.
It's all about recovery and optimism and moving forward.
Yep.
Positivity in your life. So I think,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And we really stress that Fun and Recovery is a no judgment zone.
right.
We want people to feel comfortable if they're struggling. Talk about it. It doesn't matter if I met you yesterday. We're here to help you.
Right. And because we're still, as a mom and you and someone in recovery, I still think the stigma is out there.
Oh, it's definitely out there.
rampant. Yeah.
Absolutely. And on that piece, that's why Fun and Recovery isn't just, we don't want it to be just a program for people in recovery, for support and fun. We also want to be known. We want to be out there in the community. We want people to talk about this disease. One of the biggest and most regretful things that especially people in Westfield have done in the past is sweep it under the rug.
Right.
It's even in families. If the first time I had legal trouble,
Right.
we wanted to keep it quiet and
Right.
understandable.
Yep.
But it doesn't help.
No.
So the best thing you can do is talk about it. Educate your kids.
Yep.
Let it be known that this is a disease just
Mm-hmm.
like any other one. It's not a shameful thing. And Fun and Recovery wants to be in the community to better the community.
To help, right? And I really think it could impact those folks that are dealing with, the severe mental health issues, the depression,
Absolutely.
which could trigger relapse. And
yeah.
and we want to let people know that you're here, that they can get the help, because it's kind of similar to the depression, the mental health issues. People sweep it under the rug. People are not talking
mental
about
health
it.
Issues and addiction go hand
in hand. So when I had Heather White on with the foundation of American Foundation for Suicide Prevention,
Yes.
So it's similar in ways because we don't talk about it,
Right.
And I think I think it helps take away that stigma.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like any other disease. It's a disease, and we need to break down those barriers. So, nice job with this Fun and Recovery.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Pete, the phone number, people can call in. I would 642-9039.
Yep.
413-642-9039. If anybody has any questions for Megan or myself with the chamber. So I'm going to switch gears again. I'm going back to the chamber for a second. So we've had to change our calendar, Pete, our events. Oh my gosh. So
Just a tad.
just a tad, right?
Well, so does everybody else. So.
Oh, everybody else. I know. We're not alone in this. Trust me. I get that. So all of our April events have been obviously canceled, but postponed and or rescheduled. So, but the challenge with all of this is, when do we reschedule them? Because we don't know when,
Everything's on hiatus, and the problem is
it's hard.
Is you can't put a date on anything because it's kind of a moving
Right.
target, and different areas of the country are going to hit the curve and start to decline.
Correct.
Before others, like New York City, got hit so hard so fast
No, right?
that they're going to start coming down because it's eventually going to spread through as many of the population as
I
it's going to
know.
hit,
Right.
and then it's going to move on somewhere else, and those hot spots are going to keep moving around the country.
Yeah. So May, all of our events have been canceled for May. Now,
Canceled for
however,
June too. Who knows?
well, we've scheduled. We're leaving the June events right now as is, because I think
Penciled
this month of April, we're going to have a better picture. And then even in the first week or two of May, we're going to have a better sense of what's going to be allowed or not allowed.
Mm-hmm.
So, but for May, we have the Mayor's Coffee Hour, May 4th, and we're going to do a Zoom meeting. So we are
cool.
going to have the coffee hour, and I will be sending out information. I talked to Mayor Humison, and he agreed to do it. So we're going to so that will be coming. I'll be getting out the information for people to join that meeting. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited about that. Our May golf tournament, I have rescheduled to June 22nd.
Nice.
Again, it's tentative. So all of our June dates are tentative. We have our wonderful After 5 connection and on June 15th at Westfield Bank in Southwick, which is a great event. And then we have our June breakfast. Oh, Pete, I was so disappointed about our March breakfast. So hopefully we'll have the June breakfast, which is June 11th. And that's at the Ranch Golf Club.
Oh, I love
So
the ranch.
those, I know, right? I do too. So those are all tentative, but they're scheduled and they're reserved for our venues, and we'll just have to wait and see. Time will tell.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Yep.
that's
You
enough.
want to take a break?
Yeah, sure. We'll be right back. Chamber Chatter.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Support for community radio on WSKB provided by Westfield Electroplating. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
This is Ken Stomsky from Ken's Den on WCPC 15 and 89.5 FM, Tuesdays 8 to 10.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
And welcome back to Chamber Chatter. I'm Kate Phelan, the Executive Director of the Greater Westfield Chamber. Oh my God, I've got to cut my bangs, Pete. I can't stand this. This is driving me crazy.
Same. My hair's getting so long.
Oh, man. So anyway, I'm here this morning with my daughter.
See, I'm lucky. I just...
I know. Well,
I got a wall electric shaver. I just buzzed that bad boy. I'm good.
You're lucky. I know people that need haircut. We need haircuts, and I can't wait to get my pedicure and all these.
I'm kind of bummed because they canceled. They postponed St. Baldrick's, the thing where I usually get my head shaved. So
I know because
no head coloring, no.
I know
shaving.
The coloring. I was thinking about you this morning, but I thought, oh my God, when do you color your hair? What day is that?
Usually it's a week before the event. So
what day was that normally?
It was going to be right around St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, I thought about that this morning.
Yep. So I had to give myself a haircut because it was getting long.
Wow.
Yes.
I know. Well, you're lucky you can do a buzz cut.
Right.
But I'm not. I'm going to stay away from the buzz cut.
They say don't try things you don't normally do.
Okay. Good advice, Megan. So we're talking a lot about recovery, people in recovery, and
yes.
So Megan, your mission statement. You have one for fun and recovery. You want to share that with our listeners?
Sure.
What is
that? Our mission statement is Fun and Recovery's goal is to build relationships and have a safe, fun environment for people in recovery. We are a great support system, and we plan events for any members and their families. If you are in recovery from anything, you are welcome.
Oh, that's wonderful. Very nice job on that.
Thank you.
So we talked a little bit about how you need donations.
Yes.
But it's not just financial.
No, absolutely not. Like I said, we started with just a group of people in recovery, 5 or 6 of us, men, women, of various ages. And we had this idea that, hey, we want to have fun. We want to have some sober fun, and we want to provide a support system. And we didn't have a place to do that.
Well, first of all, even a place to meet.
Or a place to meet.
So the library's closed.
Correct.
So you were before COVID hit hard.
Yes.
You were meeting there, correct?
We were. We actually started in one of our founding members' houses.
Okay.
So that was square one for us.
Yeah.
And we moved from there to the library. And they've been very, very awesome.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Okay. So now will you think you'll continue meeting there when when things open back up again and we get back to the new norm?
Yeah, I would like to continue meeting at the library. Eventually I would love to have our own spot, our own space where anybody that wants to come and check us out or join us or join our event planning committee can just stop by.
Well, hopefully that's, CORE will be working on that community drop-in center, whatever. So besides meeting places, you are looking for venues that have event space. Now, we did mention the YMCA. Hopefully you'll be able to maybe coordinate something with Andrea Allard at the Y.
Absolutely.
Because I know they have the ropes course and they have the pool. Even if they do a discounted, like maybe you could go swimming.
Yeah, anything.
One night or something for $1 or something. So you can coordinate. So these are the things you're looking for.
Absolutely.
So places.
Places for venues,
for
space
events,
for meetings. Yeah. Yes. Transportation. Transportation is huge as well.
Now, what do you mean when you say transportation? Are you looking for bus passes or how? What is that? What do you mean?
Yeah, we'd like to span out for our event. So if we have an event farther out, like Hope for Holyoke would love to work with us.
Okay.
So, they're based out of Holyoke. So bus passes to help our members get from A to B would be great.
Because not everybody has a car. Like you don't have a car.
Exactly. So. Or, like for different seasonal things. Like for last fall, we wanted to do a haunted hayride. We wanted to go and do a corn maze. So not everybody has a car or a license. So we need like a van or help. If people want to volunteer their time in cars to get people that want to go to these events from place A to B, that would be amazing.
Okay, so that's awesome. And then if they want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Yes, so if they would like to get in touch with our business portion of the group to either join or donate any of those things or even a financial donation, you could contact us at funandrecovery@outlook.com.
Okay.
And again, Fun and Recovery is spelled out one word, funandrecovery@outlook.com.
Oh, so that's awesome. And then once we can socialize again, there's always flyers up around town.
Oh yeah, look for us. We're hoping to put a flyer up at grocery stores
for your events and and your contact information and the meetings and whatever.
Correct. We're going to have one main flyer, just kind of putting us out there who we are.
Okay, good.
A general Fun and Recovery flyer, and then also event promotion flyers.
So you've been in recovery for a long time.
Yes.
How many years sober now? 4?
Right now, I have 4 years sober. I have been in recovery since, how old am I? My goodness, my birthday's coming
Monday.
Up. So I'll be 32 on Monday. I have been in recovery since I was 20 years old. I've been in and out of the rooms and, relapses included. So,
but your addiction started at 13. Correct?
My addiction started at 13. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's been a journey.
Yes, it has.
And we've lived it together sometimes. Yes. Sometimes we've not been together.
Oh yeah.
What do you find the hardest part with the system? What do you think is the most challenging?
With which system?
The system of, when someone has an addiction issue, you and I both know you have the addiction, there's detox, and then there's trying to find so what do you find is the hardest obstacle or the most difficult aspect of someone trying to combat this disease?
There's so many.
Really?
There are so many obstacles. Where do I go for help? How do I find what's best for me?
Because it's not one size fits all either.
No. Everybody's journey is completely independent. What works for me is definitely not going to work for you. And unfortunately, at this time, it's trial and error. Who's going to assess me? Who's going to tell me what I need? And how do I know if it's going to be right?
Right.
So where do I even begin looking for that type of help? That's the first obstacle, in my opinion. The second one is time and space. So you need help. You need it now. You're desperate. You have nothing. You have nobody. And you call for help. And then it's a waiting game.
Right.
There's not any immediate appointments. There are not available beds and treatments. Say you get to detox, you complete detox. There's not a bed to move on to the next step of the program. Say you complete that. There's a 50-50 shot at moving on to the next step of the program. On top of that, there are legal issues. There is financial issues. There are
transportation
issues, living issues, support issues, personal issues, the stigma, the shame. There's so much.
Yeah. It's really difficult for folks in dealing with this. Of course, you and I speak from it personally.
Right.
And but there's hope. There's a lot of resources out there, but it's hard to access them, I think, sometimes, especially for the homeless population.
Oh, yeah.
They have I think, added challenges for them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But and with all these challenges, I mean, even from, when I was 20 and looked for help in the beginning of my recovery to today, there's so much more out there.
Oh, yes. Well, I think once, our executive branch of our government, once they realized that when the epidemic really hit nationwide and statewide and even on a local level, once they realized this is not going to go away without financial support and an increase in services, then we started to see the change when they recognized that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
but more needs to be done.
Yes, there's so much more work to be done. We are nowhere near where we should be, but there has been giant steps towards the right change.
Because because we've lived it personally, I find like it's a web. You get through one hurdle, then you get through another hurdle, but it goes deeper because once you're in recovery, now you've got to dig yourself out of probably a financial hole, and if you don't have a car, how do you get to work?
Or a place to live.
Or a place to live. There's no affordable rents anywhere.
Right.
Housing is a huge issue, as we know.
In Westfield alone, there are, off the top of my head, I can think of 6 mental health homes, which is fantastic. There isn't one substance abuse home.
Well, we got that. There's that new one on Pleasant Street, but
there is a new one run by a private foundation.
But it's private, right?
And that is great. That's a start.
Right.
But there is no transitional housing.
Right.
There is no halfway housing.
Right.
No
sober houses at all.
There's a lot more progress to be made.
Housing is a huge issue, and you live with me, but I know you don't. You're 30. You'll be 32. You don't want to live with your mother.
No, moving back home was very hard. Very, very hard.
So So it's I think we need to keep having these conversations and trying to fix some of the. Some of them are easy solutions, I think, and some of them are not easy solutions. Our city's very aware of the housing issue, whether you're in recovery or not. The rents are just skyrocketing. They're just out of control.
Absolutely.
And I think we've talked about this. I've talked about this at the city level, and just having room rentals would be huge.
Oh my God, room for rent would be awesome.
But there's no one resource. You can't find them.
No.
There's no registry, which makes it harder.
Right.
So, so there's always these challenges,
You bet.
And but I think having a support system helps.
Oh, it's vital.
Yeah.
It's so vital. A support system helps. Like I said, everybody that has struggled with this disease, I commend for the strength you have to try and get sober. All the people that have pushed towards change in recovery and in our community. Just talking about it makes the biggest difference.
Right.
Putting it out there. That's the only way that these things are going to move towards better.
Right.
Also, I just want to say that if anybody out there is still struggling with this disease, and there are so many people that are, it's so important to just
reach out to somebody.
Keep it in the day, reach out.
Especially people do care. There's people that will help.
Oh, yeah. And with the COVID virus, use your phone numbers, use your networks. Make that call you don't want to make. All that matters is today.
Yep. We have to get through today, right?
That's
one day at
it.
a time. 1 day at a time.
1 minute, 1 hour, one day.
So I will be back next month. Hopefully, we'll have our guest, which will be great. Second Wednesday of the month, 9 to 10. And Chamber Chatter. I hope you enjoyed listening, and we'll see you next month. Be well, everyone. Be safe out there. Thanks.
Want some whiskey in your water, sugar in your tea? What's all these crazy questions they're asking me? This is the craziest party that could ever be. Don't turn on the lights, cause I don't want to see. Mama told me not to come. Mama into this room. I think I'm almost choking from the smell of stale perfume. And that cigarette you're smoking, I'm scaring you up to death. Open up the window, sucker, let me catch my breath. Mama told me not to come. Mama told me not to come. That ain't the way to have fun, son. That ain't the way to have fun, son. Someone's knocking at the door. I'm looking at my girlfriend. She passed out on the floor.